Welcome back to Anxiety Makes Me Poop. It's hot. It's hot. It's July 1st, 2026. So if you're listening later in life, it's really hot out today. It's almost 100. I think it's over 100 in the sun. And this is Midwest. So you know Arizona, Florida, all of them are even hotter probably. So listen, we're going to talk about heat and humidity. Emotional humidity. Have you ever stepped outside on one of these brutally hot humid days like today and immediately thought, that's a nope? That's the same nope that I said yesterday when I went to go get the mail from my mailbox and saw a big old black spider. I was like, that's a nope. Not today. Like, basically, you haven't even made it to your car and somehow you're already sweating. That's today. Your clothes are sticking. Basically, your energy just is zapped, right? It disappears. Everything feels heavier. You move slower. Maybe even feels like you're walking through water, right? You're breathing a little heavier, a little harder. In even simple tasks. For example, I just went outside and watered all my flowers and my garden, and I was sweating. And it took some extra effort not to move fast because I didn't want to get too hot. Even yesterday, it was in the 90s, and I went for a walk in my neighborhood and came back and felt like I had to take a shower. I was so sweaty. Hot and humid in the Midwest, along with every other state in July. It's amazing how something you can't really see can completely change how your body feels. So, of course, it got me thinking in the car today when I was driving home from work. Our emotions work the same way. Sometimes life feels emotionally humid. You wake up, maybe nothing terrible has happened that day because you just woke up, right? Sun's shining. Maybe your coffee, your tea, your Red Bull tastes good. Maybe everything on the outside is and looks completely normal. But on the inside, maybe you're feeling heavy or your thoughts feel heavier or maybe your heart just feels heavy and your body feels heavier, maybe even your soul. You're just kind of like, oh, I'm off today. Emotional humidity. You're off today. You feel like you're walking through water. You maybe can't even quite explain it, but it's like you're carrying around this invisible weight that makes every single thing require more of your energy. And maybe you don't have it to give. And that's what anxiety feels like some days. That's maybe what grief feels like. Or how about an unresolved conflict or a fight that you have with someone? Maybe you're feeling guilty or you're scared. You have fear. Or you constantly worry about things. You know, for example, my son just texted the family chat and said he's traveling again. And I immediately went into mom mode like, where are you staying? And he's an adult, Mom. Don't worry. He's got this. Emotional humidity. It gets you worried. You have fear, right? Here's what's interesting. Humidity isn't actually the heat. It just makes the heat feel more intense. And maybe our emotions are kind of that exact same thing. A small problem, like a small heat, a small fire, suddenly feels enormous with emotional humidity. A simple email becomes something you avoid for 3 days because you're like, oh, I don't even want to respond because right now I'm going to attack them or I don't feel like it or why did they write it that way? Never put emotion to text. We know that. Or maybe an awkward conversation just keeps going on in your mind. If you have anxiety or if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you probably wake up in the middle of the night like I do. And it's like you know what I've been having lately? I'm just going to left turn here for a second. Jump scares in the middle of the night. I think it's menopause. I don't want to admit it and say it out loud. I just did. It's jump scares. All of a sudden, I just jump up and I'm like, what am I forgetting? What's happening? And then it's nothing. And then because I jump up and I pretty much scare myself, I'm up for 2-3 hours sometimes. So I've gotten very good at the cat nap around 4 p.m. so I can get through the evenings. Crazy, right? Anybody else doing that? Let me know. So maybe one uncertainty turns into 10 worst case scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Like what if times 10, okay? If you are like me or similar, your mind plays a whole bunch of different conversations in your head of something that never happened. Or maybe you just prepare to say something to somebody if they do this and this and this to you, right? Worst case scenarios. So again, Our emotions don't always carry the problem, but sometimes they magnify them, okay? They make everything feel heavier than it really is. And here's the part that really hit me. When it's humid outside, we don't blame ourselves. We don't say, what's wrong with me? Why am I sweating? Why am I so tired? I should be able to handle this. No, we don't. We say, nope. We recognize that the environment around us is affecting us. The humidity and the heat is affecting us. We drink more water. We slow our pace. Maybe we'll find some shade. We give ourselves grace because we understand the conditions that we're in. Humidity and heat. So why don't we do that emotionally? When our hearts feel heavy, we become our own worst critics. I should absolutely be over this. Why am I still worrying about this? Why can't I get it together? Right? Emotional humidity. But maybe our emotional environment has been heavy for a long time. So it's like, oh, this again. Or, oh, let's add more to it. And maybe you've been carrying the stress that no one else can see. And you've been trying to hold everything together for everyone else, especially yourself. And your mind and body are simply responding, finally, to the weight of it all. Maybe all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, emotional humidity. I have been thinking about the same thing for a week. Or why can't we just come to a conclusion on this? Or why can't work be blah, blah, blah? Or why can't this relationship just work out? You have to try and let it go. I know it sounds so easy, right? Because you're probably thinking of a few things right now that you just can't get over, and that's okay. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Let's get to the hopeful part, right? We know what it is now. We know what humidity is on the inside and outside. It doesn't last forever. Emotional humidity, the humidity and heat outside, doesn't last forever. It's a day or two, or maybe a week. A week, which is a long time for emotional humidity. And we hope that eventually some wind comes through, some clouds roll in, we get some shade. A storm comes in and cools everything off. The atmosphere changes. Now, does the atmosphere change because we changed it? The person changed it? Or everything around us changed? It's because we changed it. You know the answer. Our atmosphere changes because we decide that it's going to change. And suddenly you step outside and you think, okay, I can breathe again. Our emotional lives work this way too. Sometimes the storm we try so hard to avoid is actually what clears the air. Maybe it's finally having that hard conversation. Oy, yuck. Maybe it's crying after holding everything in for months. Let it go. Or asking for help. Maybe if you pray. Maybe if you go to therapy. Maybe if you just admit, I am not okay today. And that is okay. Whatever it is. Healing starts the moment we stop pretending the air isn't heavy. I am having an emotionally humid day, and that is okay. How can I make myself feel better? What can I do for myself today? It's not selfish. You've been in your brain and in your soul and your heart and your body, and it's starting to affect you. It's time to fix you. You know, sometimes it's about putting up boundaries. I know we've talked about that before. Maybe it's finally having that hard conversation saying, listen, we're probably going to have to agree to disagree, but I need to get this off my chest and feel better so that my emotional humidity can go away. The clouds can come in, everything can cool off, and I can be in the shade for a little bit. I got to give my body, my mind, my soul a break. So I'm going to leave you with a question today. What is creating emotional humidity in your life right now? And how are you going to make yourself better right now? Whatever it is that you do, can you journal it? Can you pray about it? Can you just name it out loud? Can you yell about it in your car? Can you sing to your favorite song so that your mind just takes a break to lift that humidity? Can you talk to someone you trust? Now, don't do gossip hour. Don't do gossip hour. If someone's bothering you, go to that person. But if you need to get it off your chest, then talk to someone that you trust. When we acknowledge, basically that's all that is. It's all acknowledging. You're just saying it out loud like, this is bothering me and I need to get over it. When we acknowledge it, we make room for the fresh air to move in. This is what's bothering me. Here's how I'm going to fix it. Say it out loud. Give yourself a little grace and slow your pace down. Take a deep breath, drink some water. Remember that seasons change, just like the weather. And always remember that you're not alone. Other people also carry emotional humidity, and other people are also trying to make themselves feel better. Again, it's not selfish. Take a deep breath. Think what is going to be healthy for you, and do what you need to do to get that humidity lifted and to move up and away. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.